It would appear that someone unplugged and then replugged in Mitch McConnell. This is often a tactic that's recommended for aging political technology. You can plainly see this individual unplugging him. And then you can see this guy is hopeful that this is really going to work. Here you can clearly see that Mitch OS has gone completely offline and the system is trying to reboot. This is sometimes referred to in technical terms as the hamster falling off the wheel. This reboot goes on for about 20-25 seconds and results in a system that does come back, but still with a lot of lag. The responsible thing to do with a case like this is to escalate that support ticket on up the ladder. Get your system in front of a professional who can make sure everything is working internally correctly. But this is government, so they just take him back to his containment unit, his office. What is actually going on with him? Well, now it's time for the fun part where me and you get to play junior medical sleuth and decide what was going on inside that brain bucket. But first we need some patient history. Addison Mitchell McConnell was born in 1942, which means he's 81 years old. And despite an uncanny resemblance to Droopy Dog, he appears to be mostly human. He did experience a fall with some head trauma and a broken rib back in April. There has been some speculation that he may be taking some form of blood thinner based on the bruising you see in these pictures. It may also be that he's just getting old and the lack of collagen and thin skin makes him more prone to bruising. Based on age alone, we could be talking about something called a transient ischemic attack, basically a mini stroke. You can think of a TIA a little bit like a clogged sewer line. But instead of feces and toilet paper, you get a lovely blood clot. These clots are generally small and only affect a small portion of the brain. In Mitch's case, it probably caused some ischemia, lack of blood flow, to the speech center of his brain, which caused all the bullshit to stop coming out of his mouth. These mini strokes often behave like these kind of clogs, where they spontaneously break down and move on their own, hence the name, transient. Another option we need to consider is that he may have just run into nature's version of the blue screen of death. I'm referring to something called an absence seizure, or an absence seizure, if you want to sound like a prick. These are generally more common in children, but I think the reason we need to include it here is they have been connected to traumatic brain injuries, like that which happens after you fall. These can happen suddenly and without warning and cause you to stare blankly into space for a few seconds. And they have been known to be caused by flashing lights, like those found from cameras when you're in front of the press. Because we have a very, very aged political situation going on here, like at this point, I'm not sure if we're digging up mummies or if there's necromancy involved. But whatever the case is, these situations, these medical malfunctions and meltdowns are going to be a continuous thing for the foreseeable future. We've been exploring logical and rational explanations for this, but I can guarantee you that this lady in green here is going to be a conspiracy theory. Did she poke him with something? Was it an Illuminati hand signal? Is that his alien off button? Just wait for it.